come back. The adjournment was to ascertain that all documents as mentioned by the minister were received. It has been confirmed that this is the case and the documents have been duplicated. Since that these documents were confidential documents, members can only pursue on location. From the discussions thus far, it's evident that more time is needed. Therefore, we will have the time, all the members of parliament, to review the documents and look into the possibility. We will look into the possibility to have a technical briefing by the staff of the ministry. Following that, we will come back to this meeting to finalize this agenda point. We will, MP Irian, is this a proposal of order? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I heard you mention that we need more time, but I don't know what that was based on, because I heard a lot of other MPs saying that they would like to continue. So I'd like to propose then maybe a vote on us continuing, at least going into the second round, and then maybe if you want to end there, but I know MPs want to speak. That's my proposal, to vote for the continuation of not to the second round.
I will adjourn for 2 minutes. Meeting adjourned. Welcome back once again. The minister indicated that she will return before the deadline of placing the signature on said agreement. At this moment, the proposal of order is to continue with the meeting with the second round, so not to adjourn. We will go over to the voting at this moment. Does anyone wish roll call? Roll call. Okay. Does anyone wish to motivate their vote? MP Doran?
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon to the Honourable Minister and support staff, and a special good afternoon to the people of St. Maarten. Madam Chair, I came here today to make a very important decision. And you can see that based on the pin that I'm wearing. I'm wearing the St. Maarten flag. I'm saying that to say, for it all of a sudden to seem as if this is not a priority is quite worrisome to me, because we're not even getting an indication as to when this meeting will continue. It gives me even more questions because, as one of my colleagues alluded to earlier in the notifications, the documents were sent 2 days ago. And now new documents were received, and now we have to peruse through it within an hour. I believe, Madam Chair, we can adjourn now, come back later this evening, go till 4 in the morning if that is the case. But we have to make a decision for our people, because the people have been left in a limbo with a lot of statements being made. And my goal, my sole purpose here today is to get the truth of the matter and make a decision that will ultimately benefit the people of St. Maarten, namely our policyholders. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Doran. Now it's MP De Wever. You can motivate.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. After getting the clarifications today, I feel as if the minister has done a really good job with the team of looking at how we could have reduced from the original contract, the original agreement that we had that is tied with interest rates, refinancing with the Netherlands. But what I'm not really secured on is the fact that after receiving these documents, they are quite thick. They're not easy. I need to feel secured in what I'm reading is giving me the comfort that I am seeking. And I've been seeking that from the first time we received this deal of bailout. I think. It's because from the first time I called it a bailout. But to push to agree on something now without having a complete understanding of what is there, I'm not comfortable with that. And that's what I want, to say. So I cannot agree to proceed into the second round in order because of the fact that I personally lack the understanding which will tie in my country to an agreement and fees for the next 30 years. Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP De Wever. MP Irion, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also believe that when you announced the continuation, you said until further notice. I can't trust when the until further notice is. Matter of fact, this meeting actually, I called this meeting already in June. Never got a response from the presidium or the chair on the initial request of this meeting. And then a proposal from the minister came weeks later. So I don't know when we're coming back. We have until October 9th. I don't know how much more. We have about 15 of us in here, 10 minutes each clarifications. We can't afford to wait until the last minute to say, oh, we have to sign today, we have to approve today. So I believe that we should continue, and we need more time for the voting. Yeah, maybe, right? But we have enough information. I have enough information today for me, and I have a lot more questions that I want to ask. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Irion. I now see MP Gums. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. I also saw the documents very briefly in the hour adjournment that we had. And I do, well, even though I did not speak in this meeting, I do believe that a more technical deep dive of those documents is something that I think especially the newer MPs should have the courtesy of receiving. And since last year, many of my questions are still not actually answered in terms of the governance of this new structure, the new co, how we're going to make sure that we receive the best deal when it comes to selling them off as they become profitable, etc. This meeting in a CC was something that this faction requested since last year, September. We had it, then we had another one in November, and then the topic kind of went dead as we all went into campaign mode. So with that, I also don't want to rush towards a vote. I don't have no problem staying here. I don't have kids, however, in the interest of getting the deep dive on a technical level, I would prefer to, as we have suggested, adjourn and receive that, and then move forward with those additional information in hand to make the proper decision for the country and the entire country. Because at the end of the day, it is not about 3,000 policyholders. It is literally about everyone else, because we all have to carry this burden. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Gums. I give the floor to MP Lacruz.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady, SG, Honorable Minister, and your support staff, and my colleagues, those watching via social media. Madam Chair, I have more questions than before I read the documents, but I have a problem with us adjourning the meeting now, and there are other questions that don't even relate to what I saw. So adjourning would only extend another meeting again that the minister will have to leave, answer questions again. So I am somewhat confused about what is exactly the reason why we are adjourning the meeting, because the documents that came in this morning, actually late, right? We got a short opportunity to peruse the documents, but as is now, I have other questions, and I think that is only just because these questions were from the first round, or the way the minister answered the questions that were asked in the first round. So prolonging the meeting for another time again is actually a waste of time, and I do have children to tend to. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Lacruz. I now give the floor to MP Westcott Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady, and a good afternoon. Madam Chair Lady, just for us to be clear, especially towards the public, the discussion that we're having right now is about your proposal to adjourn the meeting and subsequently a proposal of order not to adjourn. Fact is, and the more I hear the arguments not to adjourn, the more convinced I am that we should adjourn. And the reason for this being, we need to realize that we are in a public meeting of Parliament, meaning that if we were to use the opportunity now to ask the questions that we have right now, we don't have the opportunity to ask any more questions resulting from the explanation that we want. You have tried as chair, the minister and her support staff has tried as much as they could to assist members of Parliament in understanding the documents that are confidential. But we are not, most members of Parliament are not where we feel we should be, including myself, in terms of that documentation, to feel now that we can ask the questions resulting from that documentation. So, Madam Chair Lady, it's important again to establish what we are, where we are in this public meeting, one. And secondly, and maybe more importantly, is the fact that while you have not yet finished your proposal regarding when this meeting could possibly continue, fact is that the Presidium, including yourself of this Parliament, is quite cognizant of the fact that we need to have a decision. In other words, continue with this meeting before the deadline, as stressed upon over and over by the minister. Taking that into consideration, I believe we do have the time to use a phrase of my colleague, to do a deep dive into the documentation that has been presented during the last couple of days, especially. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP Westcott Williams. I now give the floor to MP Otley. You have the floor.
Madam Chair, good day to you. I think the issue came about where you say until further notice. When I listened to some of my colleagues, even those that want the meeting to continue, the fact of the meeting being adjourned is not the issue, as long as we are able to come back today to make a decision. I find it very, to continue, I find it very ironic that when the minister mentioned the documents, every member of Parliament was going about their day normally until MP La Cruz requested an adjournment to read such documents. While the documents were in there, very few MPs gathered in the room to even get an understanding. If we are adjourning the meeting for what it is said, for a proper basis and an explanation from the technical team, then so be it. But for what I'm gathering, when I listen to the coalition and I hear two members speak and they're on the edge, I hope that this adjournment is not a stunt so that political support can be gathered. That is what I am afraid of. So, Madam Chair, I will not jump the gun. You did say until further notice. I'll wait and hear when is this further notice.
Thank you, MP Otley. Before I give the floor to MP York, I would like to give some clarity on that date. I understood from the minister that the minister will be able to return on October 7th, and that's before the deadline of signing of the agreement. So just to provide that